Hey, what up, guys? I wanted to put a quick review up for a movie I checked out like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, called JD's Revenge, put out by Arrow Video. Now, when this was announced, I really didn't think anything of it. It wasn't on my radar at all. I had no interest in picking this up at all. I'm not the hugest blaxploitation fan. Like, I like some of them, but like I liked what is it, the Mac? I don't know if you consider that blaxploitation. I like Superfly, stuff like that. But as far as the horror ones go, I never saw Sugar Hill, so I can't attest to that. But I saw Blackula, and I thought it was okay. Nothing too amazing. So I wasn't really looking forward to this at all. I wasn't going to pick it up. But I had went to Grindhouse Video a few months ago, and while I was shopping around in there, the owner was actually had this on the Blu-ray player, and he was watching it, I guess just chilling there working, watching it. And while I was shopping, I kept hearing the soundtrack in the background and some of the dialogue and stuff, and I really dug the sound of it. I wasn't even looking at the picture at all or anything. I was just hearing it while walking around the store. And while I was checking out or whatever, I asked the owner, I was like, hey, you got a copy of that JD's Revenge? Just because the soundtrack alone had kind of convinced me to pick it up. And he had said yeah, but he was like, we got a used copy too, the one I'm watching, $5 off. So he popped the movie out of the Blu-ray player and gave it to me. But I was really kind of excited to check it out just based on the soundtrack alone. But essentially what this movie's about is it opens with this gangster from the 40s, and he's wrongfully killed. He's set up and he's killed, and he says he's going to have his revenge or whatever. And then fast forward, I think, from the 40s to the 70s, and there's like this lawyer banker guy. He's a really upscaled, or I don't know the word, but he's a really respectable black dude. He's not a gangster or nothing like that. But him and his girlfriend and a couple other buddies, they go to this nightclub. And for some reason, they're doing like a hypnotized session thing where they go on stage and they get hypnotized. And he volunteers to get hypnotized. And while he's hypnotized, this spirit of the gangster who was wrongfully killed kind of possesses his body or whatever. And slowly he is getting possessed by the gangster. And it kind of comes and goes. Like he'll be in his body for a little bit and he'll start talking like a gangster and cussing, and he'll slap his woman around and everything, and she ends up getting freaked out and leaves. And then but it's weird, the gangster won't stay in the body, so and he has no recollection of what happens when the gangster is in possession of his body. So he'll be like apologizing to his girl and all that. She'll come back and he'll turn again, and he'll be like slapping her around, calling her a bitch and all that, and throwing her out on the street. And so she eventually leaves him or whatever, and her brother, or her ex-husband's a cop, and he's going after him and wants to teach him a lesson and all that. But, you know, as the movie progresses, the gangster possesses his body more frequently for longer periods of time, and he wants his revenge on the people that killed him and his sister. And it's a preacher now. He's like a reformed preacher, and his brother. So he wants revenge on this preacher and the brother, and there's a big showdown at the end. And I don't want to give too much away beyond that, but it's more of a thriller, but there are some horror elements. And I'll say right off the bat, soundtrack's amazing. I'm going to look for it on vinyl, definitely. It's one of the best soundtracks I've heard for a horror movie. But I love the performance in this. The acting of the main guy, I don't remember his name, Glenn Turman. He was actually married to Aretha Franklin, but his performance is really good. He plays, you know, the more square kind of goody lawyer version, and he plays the really good foul-mouthed gangster version. And it was really cool just for his performance alone. Lou Gossett Jr. plays the preacher, and his performance is over the top cool. And there's like a nightmare scenes he'll have where he's seeing these like corpses of these animals and blood and all that. And it adds that mixed with the soundtrack and stuff, it adds kind of an eerie vibe to it. Really cool. There's some cool special effects where he'll be looking in the mirror like shaving or whatever, and he'll see the gangster looking back at him in the mirror, or and like he's works as a taxi company too to earn extra money, and he'll see the gangster's eyes looking at him through the rearview mirror and stuff. And it's a really well done film. 96 minutes, so the credits only an hour and a half. It goes by pretty quick, and Arrow did a really good job with the transfer here. Transfer looks beautiful. Especially a movie I wasn't expecting anything out of, never heard of, you know. It definitely has a lot of replay value, and I'm really glad Arrow released this. Brand new 2K restoration this was from. It says optional English subtitles, which is always amazing. Brand new retrospective documentary, which is like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Here lies JD Walker, a rare audio interview with the guy, the actual actor of the gangster in the flashbacks. There's a gallery, original theatrical trailer, radio spots, and a reversible sleeve, which I'll show you the reversible sleeve. Why not? I had a tough time debating which one I like better. Like, I like that sleeve too. It actually represents the movie more. But I like this cover too. I don't really know which one I'd rather have. I'll probably live with the reverse for a little bit. I don't know. It's a really hard decision when it comes to that cover. It's one of the rare instances where the cover, both sides are amazing. So, you know, I'll live with that cover for a little bit, just because it represents the movie a little better, and the color scheme kind of represents it better. But, yeah, I can't recommend this one enough. If you can find it, 20 or cheaper, I definitely recommend getting it. It's one of those things, though, where it's not strictly horror. So, if you're like a diehard horror fan, like, buy it at your own risk, just because it's more of a thriller. I mean, it's blaxploitation, so you get a lot of, you know, that kind of talking that was popular in the 70s and stuff. So, yeah, anyways, guys, peace.